Hey guys! Welcome to the first space voyage. So get into the spaceship as fast as you can.
TakeTones.com.
Today, we are gonna travel up to outer space of Earth, and study the Earth's atmosphere.
TakeTones.com.
And now, here we are, so let's get ready to know that, why does the atmosphere of our home leaks? In 2008, a satellite was launched in the atmosphere to study the Earth's atmosphere. As it flew over the North Pole, it experienced dense pockets of air. The density of air suddenly rose above the planet. As the satellite was studying the Earth's atmosphere, it measured an increase in density of atmosphere of almost double the expected value. It is well known that the atmosphere is almost non-existent above atmosphere. Scientists pointed that this leakage of air is being caused by aurora. This dazzling light have facilitated the human race for centuries and unlocking the mysteries. The research on aurora started ever since 200 years, and a scientist still learning more deep in the Arctic tundra. Researchers found a different kind of aurora which is causing our atmosphere to leak. Interspace awareness date back to previous directory and things, but the first scientific observation was made in 1795 by scientist Henry Cavendish. He used triangulation to estimate the risk taking place around 100 meters above the Earth's surface. Over time, scientists understood that auroras are an effect of how the sun interacts with Earth as a magnetic field from the sun's solar winds, which are made up of charged particles, which shoot out from the sun with enormous amount of energy. When they transfer protons, most of them are deflected by our Earth's magnetic field. However, at the north and south poles, there is a gap of the magnetic fields, and due to this, the photons briefly interact with our atmosphere. These charged particles transfer their energy into the atmosphere. When they collide, this interaction releases energy in the form of light, creating the beautiful display shadows. A specific color of light is released, depending on the type of particles, and the amount of particles, and the amount of energy being transferred. By the enormous amounts of energy involved in auroras, the particles quickly return to normal state, and the atmosphere is unharmed on hold, for a while. Scientists believe that the oxygen was too heavy to escape the Earth's gravitational pull. After a while, scientists discovered pockets of air at unusually high altitude. It was so unusual that it was leading scientists to study the nearest regions of Earth. Where this occurred above in space, they found that it was ionized oxygen, which from somehow escaped the Earth's atmosphere. The oxygen particles in our atmosphere were getting enough energy to escape as gravitational pull. The north and south poles are the only points where the magnetic field comes into contact. The magnetic lines drawn are parallel to surface but curve towards poles. When the sun charges shoot from sun, they travel along the magnetic field lines, causing most of them to be at the poles with the lines to interact with atmosphere. At this point, the transported protons interact with the oxygen, and a specific aurora known as the cusp aurora is formed. The solar winds are accelerated through, creating a very concentrated area with intense heat and kinetic energy. As charged particles collide with the particles in our atmosphere, oxygen receive enough energy to escape its gravitational pull, causing streams of oxygen to leak into space. While in normal, aurora can be observed on every night, and you can see the cusp aurora for only a moment. It appears at midday. It is even more difficult to observe the cusp aurora, because it doesn't have a fixed position, and it constantly moves around the Arctic regions. But when these colorful lights are finally here, it releases 800 to 900 tons of oxygen escaping our atmosphere. This can only be observed for a short period of time each day, as this is only a fraction of what is actually happening. In ultraviolet light, we can see the auroras are constantly happening throughout the day. But it is not the only planet to experience the cusp aurora. Hubble Space Telescope, was able to capture a very similar process, happening on Jupiter in ultraviolet light. Mars used to be a lot like Earth, but the solar wind stripped away its atmosphere over billion years, leaving small magnetic fields around the planet. Eventually our magnetic fields will experience a similar fate. Equals 500 milliseconds, greater than every day over 900 tons of our atmosphere escapes interspace. Fortunately, at this rate, it will take billions of years for atmosphere to completely disappear. Auroras are one of the many wonders behind the process of atmosphere leakage, which give a shocking reminder of how fragile Earth is. While doing research for this video, the most fascinating information we had was in various books and research papers, and most of us don't have the time to fully dive into a book and absorb all its information for those who was the want to learn more. So, bye-bye guys, and see you on the next voyage, and also, please, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel.